Welcome to AIS, another episode. We are going to talk about the immigration and the riots and how that affects construction in California because it is super relevant right now. There's a ton of stuff going on down in SoCal. This will be a solo pod. Our co-host Nate is busy, which is a great problem to have for him. But he's out there slinging decks in Tennessee. So we are going to do a shorter episode. But today we're going to talk about the immigration, the riots, how that affects construction. We're also going to hop into crimes in construction because that's our favorite segment of the podcast. So to start off, if you're not aware, I think it was June 7th. These protests started happening down in LA. I've been keeping a close eye on it. Here at KHB, we were putting together a cohort of trade partners and vendors to actually go help rebuild in the Palisade fires. And that was in queue. So I've been kind of in the mix with LA news for the past 3 to 6 months. And when these riots broke out, well, let's not go to riots yet. When these protests, peaceful protests broke out, it was mostly due to ICE coming in and deporting, coming in and getting these undocumented or illegal immigrants. And one of those hit points was, ironically, Home Depot in Southern California was where they went. And, it was a good guess because even up here in the Valley of California, that is probably a safe bet to go find some people that might not be documented. Now, no shade on the immigrants that are coming here and working and contributing to society. They are the backbone of our economy in many ways, especially in the construction industry. But let's delineate some things here. So as an employer, we hire Hispanic, African American, Latino, Asian, white, black, purple, pink, blue. We don't care, right? We are an equal opportunity employer. We are merit-based. This is a meritocracy at KHB. You get back what you put in, and we don't see color, sexual orientation, or the otherwise, right? Now, I will say that when we hire, there are certain requirements as an employer to be above board with the IRS, and you can only hire certain individuals that have the documentation to go through the proper channels they need to get taxed. They need to have a document ledger with the IRS. The government needs to know who's in your business. And also we need to know. And I will say there are times where individuals come on board that maybe don't have the proper documentation at the time of our interview or whatever it may be. And then they come back and they do magically have that documentation to become an employee. And this is a common theme. I can say wholeheartedly all the people we've hired at KHB have been above board and that they are great contributors to our culture, to our projects, to our clients' vision, to bringing that to reality. Incredibly hard workers and really the backbone of our construction operation too. But what's going down in LA is, I think, in my personal opinion, necessary, but also is terrible optics of how it went down. Going and raiding a Home Depot is one of the most stereotypical ways to deport Hispanic Americans. It was not the best because I feel everyone had this notion that the gang leaders and the violent criminals and the drug dealers and all these people here illegally doing bad things were going to be the ones going away, not the ones contributing to society. But it's a paradoxical because you can't have one without the other. Right? It's black or white. Are you here legally or are you not? Are you going through the proper channels to become legal or are you not? Are you truthfully an immigrant or did you kind of break in and just storm the border over here? So that's where I personally stand on the issue. Is I totally believe in law and order. I believe there's a right way to do things. If I wanted to be an immigrant in Ireland, and go back to my homeland, there's proper channels to go do that, whether through work visa or through their immigration process. There's a way to go about it that obviously people aren't doing that. And I think that's the big holdup for me is if it's pretty black and white on what you need to do, and sure, maybe the expense to do that or the line to wait in line to do that is too difficult, too expensive, too long. I totally get that. but there are proper channels for a reason to avoid what's going on right now. And obviously that has escalated. I'm actually going to LA this afternoon, and they're shutting down the 101 freeway. They're protesting in the streets, and it looks pretty lively down there. And it's unfortunate, because it really does. California is a beautiful place. Leadership does most of the time suck here in California, but ideally construction doesn't get affected by this. I feel like it will. I feel the federal administration will double down on this and make an example out of it, which, hopefully will become unaffected. But that's what's going on in LA. That's my opinion on it. Law and order is a real thing. People should follow the law. And it's tough to have grace for the gray area in between when there's a right way and a wrong way to immigrate to a country. So there's that. Now, speaking of crimes, we're going to hop into a crime in construction that hits home. This is in Houston, California, and the Stanislaus County Sheriff reported 11 theft incidents at KB Homes. Not to be mistaken with KHB. That happens a lot. We are not KB Homes. We have better quality. But there was 11 theft incidents at their construction sites in Houston. These suspects were arrested with connection to burglary, which involved theft of tools, materials, new construction sites. This reminds me of the crimes in construction from a few weeks ago, where these dudes had an appliance theft ring, and they were stealing all these appliances out of new construction homes. Let's hop into this article a little deeper. So there was 3 suspects. Houston, not to be mistaken with Houston, Texas, is a very small community. It's just north of Turlock, just south of Modesto in the Central Valley of California. And it's kind of funny that this is on like CBS. But detectives arrested 3 suspects in connection to thefts as new home developments in Houston. Stanislaus County Sheriff's Office says they received at least 11 reports of property theft at KB home sites. And also, this hits home too for us because we get robbed. Or not robbed, burglarized. We get B&E'd so many times a year. Like, we have job site trailers, and people just feel like it's a thrift store. They just cut the locks, go in, steal our miter saws and all of our crap. So this hits home, and it actually pisses me off. But these guys were stealing air conditioner units, water heaters, appliances, construction material. It says at least $15,000 worth of property. And one of the suspects was, connected to at least 2 burglaries of unoccupied homes in Houston and Patterson. And so it sounds like this is like an organized type thing, because Patterson's about 40 minutes away from Houston. So these dudes are hitting all the development sites, it looks like, and stealing materials. Let's see. He had 2 other people with him that burglarized, and they think it's linked, and they're still in investigation. So that's the risk of being in construction, because you know what? Like, could the contractor put an insurance claim in for that $15,000 or whatever? Sure. But you know what happens? We got B&E'd 3 times in a year, and we kept submitting to insurance. We gave them the police report. We gave them the list of materials and equipment that was in that trailer. And by the end of the year, we were uninsurable because we just kept getting robbed. It didn't matter what locks we put on the trailer. It didn't matter how we parked it. Thieves are going to thieve. You know what I'm saying? So that's unfortunate. Really, that's going to be the episode today. We addressed some immigration. We addressed some unfortunate events happening down in LA. And we ended it with a cherry on top with crimes and construction. And that's what it's going to be. So I hope you guys like our opinion on this. This is more of a public service announcement than a podcast, I would say. Like, share, subscribe, comment, stick along for our next episode. We'll be having another one come out next week.